All right, welcome back, guys. So this is a video that we took on just really the navigation of Traction. So we're just going to walk through some of the key features and functions of Traction and the areas that you probably be using most often. So when you log into Traction, if your business unit has a dashboard and you are assigned on that dashboard, when you log in, you'll actually see this is what you'll see, the dashboard page. If not, you'll see a blank screen. But either way, when you log into Traction, there is a little menu bar on the left corner. If you hit that, you will see all the menu items that you can select, and you have Project Home, Ideas Home, Project Groups, My Desk, Incoming, and so on. The ones that you probably use most frequently will be the Projects Home, the Ideas Home, and maybe the report and the dashboards. Some people may use the My Desk. This basically showcases all the projects that are assigned to you and the task and so on that you're on. So some folks will actually use that as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first option here, Projects Home, and let's talk through that. So what you're seeing here is a screenshot or screen capture of the project's homepage. And this is where you're going to see all the projects that you are a part of. So whether whether you're owning a project or you're part of a project team or you're a coach on a project, you're going to see all the projects that you're a part of on this screen on the Just My Projects tab. So if you select that, you'll only see projects that you're on. You can also see everyone's projects, so projects across the board. If you hit that, you'll see that there are 59 projects currently entered in Traction, and that's how you can filter. There are also a few buttons here that you can use to filter as well. Also on the projects page, you have these two buttons, creating a project or creating an idea. So the idea button is essentially where you're going to enter all the pain points or issues that arise, whether it's at your huddle or if it's something that you identified and discussed with your team and your leader, then you're going to basically use that button to enter that idea. Now, we have a separate video on that, and so I won't actually go into that piece, but that's where you would do that. Creating a project, if you've determined, or your leader and your team has determined that this is something that doesn't necessarily need to go into the Create Idea button, you're going to go ahead and hit Create a Project, and go ahead and just enter the A3 or the Quick Hit, whichever it is. So that's those two buttons. Let's go back over here and look at the Ideas Home. So the Idea Home homepage, very similar to the project's homepage. The only difference is this is a listing of all the ideas or pain points. We plan on changing that name in the next few months or so. But you'll see a listing of all the ideas or all the pain points that are entered into Traction. And essentially, there is going to be a prioritization process that goes through selecting a pain point and then pulling that in as either an A3, or as a quick hit. Now, again, there's another video that walks through that process. So just kind of wanted to navigate the tool and show you a few of the features and functions. So the other thing that you can take a look at is if we go into Projects Home, let's select a project that we're working on. And this is the charter page, and the charter page is essentially somewhat of a summary of some of the items in the project. So, what type of roadmap or what type of project is this? So this is an A3. So this could either be an A3, it could be a quick hit, it could be a Kaizen event, but you're probably going to see mostly A3s or quick hits here. You have the timeline for the project here. There are two mandatory fields, the start date and the project completion date. These are the actual dates that are mandatory that you need to put in. The other few are not mandatory, but if you feel like that's something that's necessary for your respective project, you can go ahead and document that there. What you see here under roles and benefits, these are the different roles that you can assign on the project. So there's a project owner, the problem owner, so the person that's owning the project. There's a problem-solving leader, and there are definitions that we can go through here. I won't go through that right now, but these are all there are 3 mandatory fields: the tollgate approver, and the coach, and the problem owner are all mandatory before you can proceed. Now, if you needed to add additional team members or you want to see who's on this project, you can select that here, and you'll have the opportunity to go ahead and you could remove people, you can add folks, select a team member, and you can do that right in this box. The other thing that you can do here is you can actually see your business unit. If it's a restricted project, that can be selected there. Most of the projects that we're working on won't be restricted, and will have open view to everyone. And if there are any changes that you make here on this project charter, you can actually save the changes as you go along. And yeah, so that's the charter page. If you go ahead and hit the project work, this is probably where you'll spend most of your time as you work through an A3 or you work through a quick hit. And so for an A3, there are these 5 columns, if you will. And if you notice, the problem statement and goal and current state is all lumped in one. That's just a restriction that we had from Traction, and typically we would want to separate problem statement and goals, and the current state would be separate, but we have all that in one column. There's a root cause, countermeasure, test and implement, and monitor and control. So when you log in to Traction and you have a project that you're going to work on, and you hit the project work tab, what you're going to do is there are a bunch of questions here that needs to get answered in order to proceed through the project. And I'll just select one of these questions here. So this one is drafting a problem statement. So this is where you would document whatever your problem statement is. We need to update Traction. And yes, we do need to update Traction. So your problem statement would go here. What we will be doing over the next few weeks is adding some of the tools that are relevant to each phase of the project. And so many of you are familiar with the 5W2H form, and that is a document that can help you to come up with a very robust problem statement. Now, once you've done that, you can save your answer here, or you can hit next, and it will automatically save what you captured here. You can upload files, so if there are any files or documents that you have that you have related to the problem statement, you can go ahead and hit manage, and you can upload different files. You can also upload links. So if you have a link to a specific Spot site or SharePoint site, you can actually upload that as well. So more to come around these lean tools. Again, we'll be uploading those in the next few weeks. So if you continue, you have the next question. So establish a goal and benefit. And again, if you go back to the project work page, it seems like a lot of questions, but some of these are just one-word answers, or if it's something that doesn't necessarily apply. I mean, most of these things should apply if it's an A3, but if it's something that you're not sure about, or and you need to proceed, you can put an A, or you can just document something there and then continue along the process. So again, this is where you'll spend most of your time as you proceed. There is also a financial tab. As you know, if we're working on projects, one of the things that we use to measure that is what type of benefits are we going to be getting from this project. And some projects will have hard benefits, are, dollar benefits and others won't. If this is a project that will reap dollar benefits, there is a financial tab, and we're going to be encouraging folks to do this. But as it stands today, we won't be doing this because there's some training and additional things that need to go into this. But just wanted to show where that financial tab is, and this is where we would go to enter all any type of benefits from a project. So again, let me just iterate. At this moment, we aren't necessarily doing this. I would say wait for direction from your leadership team or your maturity agent before you actually document anything in this tab. So let's go back over to, and this is all the tabs that are available for us to use within this project. So this is the A3 report and storyboard, and you can actually build an A3, an electronic A3 in Traction, and you can actually create a PDF document. You can print it, you can download it, share it, and it's a pretty neat tool that you can use to build an electronic A3. So these are the functions that you can go through here, and again, I won't go into all the details here, but it's pretty simple to use. You just kind of follow the prompts here, and there's also a Traction video tutorial list that I will show you in a minute. Shared files and links. This will house all the files that you've uploaded into Traction as it relates to this project. So you can upload all your files for this project here. These are linked projects. We probably won't use this very much at the moment. Who knows, maybe later on as we get more and more mature, we may use that functionality. This is a discussion board that you can use to kind of communicate between all the members of the team, and you can actually think about it. Think of this as a Yammer type post. It's not as fancy looking as Yammer, but it's certainly something you can use to communicate with members of the team. There is something else that I forgot to showcase that I'll go ahead and do that right now. So if we go back to let's say problem statement, and let me go to, so I'll hit this button here and it will show the list of questions. So this is the phase, the problem statement, goals, and current state phase. And these are all the questions that need to get answered. So let's say we're working through a specific problem and we're in a session, and we would like to, at the end of the session, we always want to be able to kind of have some type of action plan or takeaway for folks to go off and do before we get back to our next session. So if we had assigned tasks or duties that we wanted to assign, we can do that here. And so you'd basically hit add a custom task, and this would be the title of the task, update huddle board, and you could make your relevant notes here, whatever those notes are. What's the start date? Let's just select, the 14th. It should be done by today. And who is going to be the assigned user? If you had multiple people on the project, you should have a drop-down box here. I'm the only person on this test, so I'm going to go ahead and select myself. And you have the opportunity to select, is this in progress, is it complete, or there's a backlog. So in this case, it's a backlog. We'll go ahead and create task. And so you'll see that there's a huddle board view that shows this task here, and if you continue to build those tasks out, you can actually move this around as well. So once it's complete, I can just move it to the complete area, and so you can use this as a task management board, all within Traction, and all the folks that are part of the project will have access to this document. And the cool thing about it as well is that you should get updated emails, so as soon as a task is approaching I think a day before it's due, I think you get an email, I believe you get an email basically giving you a prompt to say, hey, you have a task due tomorrow. So some pretty cool features here, and I wanted to ensure that you saw this piece. So in terms of the ideas, let's take a look at the ideas. We actually looked at the ideas page already. This is the report dashboard. Most of you probably won't be in this too much, but if your business unit has a dashboard they created, you should be able to see the dashboard. And what you're looking at here is a dashboard that I created for the enterprise project and the enterprise project count. So this is a count of all the projects that are currently in traction by business unit. And so there are different dashboards you can create depending on what you'd like to see. And so again, most of you probably won't be using this actively. You you might have visibility to it, but you probably won't be creating dashboards and reports. So again, this is really just a quick tour of the navigation options and the functionalities of the Traction tool. We'll probably pick up in the next video and showcase how you can enter a pain point into Traction and how to pull that in as an A3 or a quick hit. So once again, thanks for taking a look at the video, and hope this was a helpful tutorial in walking you through the Traction tool. Cheers.